Meow, and welcome to my channel. I'm Destiny, and if this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, I'm a sweet Lolita, and I love everything cute and adorable. Today, I'm starting my tutorial series on how I make my pieces. If you'd like to see the finished product, check it out on my Instagram. I'll leave a link down below. This first video is my design process and my positioning so that I can ensure I have enough fabric to complete the product. Thanks for checking in and enjoy part 1 of how to make Lolita. The first step in making any design is drawing it out and getting your ideas out. I'm using Adobe Sketch on my iPad. Don't forget, you won't be held to this. It's your own design. Just put down what you think you want to see. I use a base template of a dress shape that I set as its own layer to get the initial shape right. I typically raise the translucency before I start it so I can see the difference between that and my drawn lines for the design. The stylus that I use with my iPad is a Walk Home Bamboo Fine Line. As I draw the ideas in my head, sometimes I really end up hating them. That's what erasers are for. For this piece, I settled on an underbust salopette with a 3-tiered skirt. After I complete the front, I turn up the translucency for that layer and start a new layer to draw the back. This keeps things like the straps in the same place. After I get the basic shape, I can start adding in smaller details. After this, I sketch out each fabric piece I'll need to cut with measurements to figure out how much fabric I'll need. If it exceeds what I have, I either need to buy more or change the design. I usually start with the skirt because I find that the easiest. Since this skirt is a 3-tiered skirt, the bottom 2 tiers must be at least 2 times the length of the top tier. The top tier and the lining, if you want one, need to be about 3 times your waist measurement to properly fit a petticoat. I initially planned for pockets, but decided against it later on as to not compromise the shape of the ruffles in the skirt. planning the bodice, I typically draw out the basic shape needed. For a dress, the sides come up close to the armpit, and there's usually darts to allow for the bust measurement. I chose to do a salopette for this video for simplicity, since the only part that you need to focus on as far as measurement is the waist. I like to choose the finished waist measurement and split it in two to figure out the width of the front panel. For this piece, I split it into 18-inch pieces. The front panel would have an 18-inch waist and the back would have 18-inch elastic. To figure out the width for the fabric for the back of the waistband, I usually stretch the elastic as far as I can, and that's the length that I cut the fabric at. You can also pick an arbitrary max and cut the fabric at that size. I make my straps similarly with elastic to allow for as much size variation as possible. Since all of my pieces are one of a kind, I try to make them fit as many sizes as possible. Once everything is drawn and has measurements, it's time to plan how to cut the fabric. It's really important to mark the measurements and do the math correctly, or you may end up inches short and have to rebuy whole bits of fabric. Once it's all marked down and you're sure you have enough, you're ready for part 2.